to our current buyers? Can we trust them now that they are not also making similar deals with the people in power? Honorable Makila, quotation precedent, I talked about it. It is in two ways as you do your due diligence, Chair. One is in terms of waiver. The amount they were promised to pay is half the price they ought to pay. And Honorable Kaluma, when I talk about over 70 billion shillings, there are two licenses I have not calculated. It can go higher. So, quotation precedent, that informal discussion that the government had with the current buyer, which they also formalized, is costing our country the much money I have talked about. So the net proceeds from this sale, if you net out that, is less than that 135 billion shillings. And I've listed one of the licenses. If you need the names of the other four, I'll give you. In terms of, and the number two loss, Chair, is in terms of waiver, but the number two loss is in terms of period. What do I mean? You see, when you go and take a driving license in Kenya, let's say you take a driving license of 3 years, and then you pay the government of Kenya, I'm just giving for comparison's sake. That's not the amount we pay. Let's say we pay 5,000. You get that, Chair? So you pay for 3 years. So you know it's a government, is a revenue stream for government that we renew our licenses. That's why we are never given driving licenses for life or passports. Because the government anticipates this as also a revenue earner. So you come here, you are given a driving license that was to be for 3 years, you pay 5,000 like everyone else. But another person goes and decides and talks to the government, oh, I'll still pay the five, please give me still for that period, but I'll pay half the price. Now this is the most heartbreaking thing. We are receiving half the amount for the license, but extending the period of the license from 15 years to 25 years. So we lose number one on the quantum, but we also lose because the government that will be there in the next 15 years will have to wait for 25 years instead of 15 for them to receive revenue from that license again. Ethiopia market, I agree. Honorable, I think, let me combine, it's still marking up. I had put it in my memorandum. We get clear definition of shareholding. Remember, this transaction is dealing with a group, but the group incorporates also M-Pesa, M-Pesa Africa. It incorporates also Ethiopia. So, at this particular time now, can Kenya know how much stake Kenya owns in Ethiopian operations? Because the shareholders here in the group are not necessarily the ones in Ethiopia as shareholders there. As I go to the finish, I agree with Honorable Makirap on valuation. Safaricom shares was worth 45 shillings in 2021. The valuation was therefore 1.8 trillion in 2021. A point where so much money was also being reinvested in Ethiopia. The intervening years, the profit went a little down. Why? Because a lot of money was also going into the Ethiopian investment. Now, Chairman, this is the thing. This financial year, up to the first half of, I think September is the half year of Safaricom, they had a 52% increment in profit, bottom line. So we are selling Safaricom based on the previous profits. That's why this deal in Harakishwa. So that by the time Safaricom announces their full year profits, which will be over 52% increment, the deal will have already been done. And I can give you this also, Chairman, because we are here as Kenyans, we will see. This is a teaser. By next year, maybe by the time this committee finishes this, you will see the government saying, oh, we saw some people also saying they also want to buy. What I want to assure you is this. They will also want to sell the 20%. And hold me to my word. Honorable CPA, Ruto, before I come there, this is the other bad thing I think we are doing. Currently, Kenya has borrowed I don't want to go into the debts. We are now over 12.5, close to 12.5 trillion Kenya shillings in public debt. But because the mainstream borrowing is squeezed, now we have brought another English terms here. We are calling funds. Chairman, that we are selling Safaricom and selling the other assets to use them as a deposit the way we go to a SACCO. You know the way you go to a SACCO and you are told, we give you 3 times of your savings. That is what the government want to experiment. Now, even after raising this money, they want to leverage it. They want to borrow multiples of this money. In fact, their plan is to borrow times 9. So you leverage times 1, and then you borrow times 9. So we raise, let's say 300 billion. But the plan of government is not even the one you are raising. It is the one you are going to borrow in that SACCO in quotes. Chairman, we will not run away from this as a country. Senegal is just a recent example for us to learn from. If you start opening up multiple loan books as a country, it will catch up with you pretty soon. We've already done that in terms of dividend here, that we are imagining as a country, there is no country in the next 5 years. So we need the money for the next 5 years today. And I hear government experts talking about, oh, we have done the present value of this money. When you're in government, you don't do present value of money. You can't, because the government operates in perpetuity.